Hello, Cancer, and those with Cancer dominant planets in their chart. This is your reading for Virgo season from the Oracle of the Feather Crowned Tree. As I've been doing these readings, it feels like everyone's essence for each sign is emerging on the board. So there may be a collective theme of people just really feeling like they know themselves, they're in their true space, they're acting in their authenticity. So this reading I will go through, I'll start with the center card, which is representing how to lead with your heart. And then the card on the left in the center will be the first house, and we'll work counterclockwise around the wheel until we get to the 12th house. And we'll just see what comes out. This is a completely intuitive reading. So sometimes themes do start to emerge, or it can just be a little bit of this and a whole lot of that. So let's start here then with your center card. And it feels like you are perhaps in a partnership, or at least doing something that you feel very loving about, that you enjoy having really close to you, that's part of you, that you identify as yourself because you enjoy it so much, and it really nourishes you not only physically but psychically and emotionally. And you feel very full, like fuller than you should be, perhaps even fuller than normal. And then we are going to take a look here at your first house. This one I do get a sense that maybe you could be a little at odds with your own identity. And it's kind of funny for you that there could even be a disowning of your identity to a certain degree, letting go of something that makes you feel like you need to be very productive and very prolific and creative for something that might be a little bit more introspective, so that I almost get a sense of jealousy out of this too. So maybe there's something that's making you feel not quite in your highest power. And this may be coming from something that is actually archaic to you, as in a programming, a type of way of being, because you've learned through your ancestors to live this way. And it has you feeling not as free as you could. You're not able to soar and really lift yourself on your own, whereas you normally have that potential to do that. And you may just kind of be thinking about it in a way that makes you look, deeper, than you normally would. But this isn't quite a surface issue, but it's something programmed into your subconscious at this point. So this is potentially very good, though, because in your identity position and how you show up to the world, this re-examination of self in a very deep way is often necessary. We're constantly changing, and this can be that necessary change that you need to be confronting so that you can enact it. As I look at your second house, this is speaking of value. We're seeing a very nurtured feminine spirit here that is receiving bounty, that is able to go and get what it needs from their environment. And there's a sense that there is plenty to receive, and there doesn't need to be any fighting for it, any shame about it. It's a very natural receptivity going on. And there may be someone that is loyal to you that is part of this equation somehow. Maybe you are actually getting things, and through your loyalty to someone you will then provide something, or vice versa. But this basically, it looks good on you. You are in your element and you are receiving gracefully. Looking at your third house, which I relate to as your house of communication and companionship, community. I'm seeing that you really want to nurture something, and through the way that you nurture it, you want to make it feel more, I kind of want to say wealthier, but just more enriched, I think is the true word that I'm looking for. And again, this could be going on for you as you're interacting with things in your environment. They may be enriching you and helping you release the shadowy aspect of what's going on. Or it could be a distraction to you needing to deal with the shadow aspect. So maybe look at that and see if there are things that are truly enriching you, or if they're distracting you, and if what you're giving to as well is distracting you from looking at some areas in your life that could use your illumination. We're going to move to your fourth house now, your house of home, family, ancestors, memory. And again, I'm getting a sense that there is this old narrative that you are very much attached to, that is familial to you, that could even be religious in nature, dogma that you associate with, that you believe in. And this could be dogma that's around self-sacrifice, around pity, around being the scapegoat, being the one that gets condemned, and the need to save. I'm even picking up on a codependency here. So look at your closest relationships that you consider family and see if there's anything like that going on there. This doesn't necessarily feel negative. It feels, like a lot of human things where there is just tragedy that happens in our life and there's really no purpose for it. But sometimes within that tragedy, if we become too attached to it, or the tragedy of our ancestors, it can start to recreate itself and become more of a self-fulfilling prophecy. So really look at where you have some command in narratives that are repeating through your family line. I'm going to take a look at your fifth house, which is how you present yourself to the world and what you expect through that presentation. It seems like you have an equal counterpart that is adding a lot to your everyday existence. This could be in the workplace. It could just be in your daily life, regardless of what sector it's in. But I see this beautiful sort of equal footing, this companionship, and an acknowledgement on both persons' behalf that the other one just adds so much more. It's like a beautiful counterpart. in your reality, and maybe you need this partnership to be successful, to create the entire picture of what you're trying to do, and to really grow and restore and enliven whatever you're involved with. You know, it could really help nurture the environment around you. And this is a beautiful relationship where there's like this acknowledgement for your independence, yet this ability to come together and collaborate at the same time. Okay, now I'm going to look at your 6th house, which is about your daily routine and your health. This is feeling very good. You've done a great job at caring for yourself to the extent of kind of transcending the earthly realm. You know, like you have a lot of heightened energy in this sector to where you've kind of gone beyond what is normal for human, and have now been hanging out in the realm of something that feels, you know, almost magical, because you've put an extraordinary amount of care into your well-being and into your ability to really have your passions bring you comfort, and your creativity also bring you comfort, and you love to show those two elements to the rest of the world as part of your identity, as part of who you are and what you do. And your 7th house of relationships and balance and justice. And I'm loving this for you because we're seeing that there is exuberance here. So again, the card that I was speaking of earlier, where you were sort of in this partnership perhaps with someone, this is showing me now that this brings you an immense amount of happiness and, you know, joy and lightness. And when that happens, it's easier for us to engage our humor. You know, life can get so serious when we're just grinding away, doing the tasks, involved in the rut, you know, consumed by the drama. And this really shows that through your relationships, you're able to really nurture for yourself, which is contagious, of course, this sense of just joy. So thanks for that. I hope I encounter some Cancers this month. And your 8th house, the house of deeper things, of going within and really investigating. This has a great deal of likeness to your 1st house. A lot of the same energy is here, only this is feeling even more weathered, and it's making me go back to that theme of thinking that there may be something going on again in your ancestry that you need to take a look at, which would make sense for you as a Cancer, because this is something that you're hardwired to really care about and to be responsible for. So I encourage you to look there, you know, perhaps even go really deep, you know, doing an ancestry hunt and like tree and, you know, going as far back as you can go. And it looks like you are going to gain some wisdom if you do dive deep. There could very well be, this is kind of hard to read. I was going to say a female and then I switched to a male. So it could be either or both, you know, of these placements in your family's history that are carrying some spiritual and emotional conflict. And it's a feeling that is just lower than necessary. You know, there's a sense of it being downtrodden when there is potential for greater illumination and greater freedom here. But I do like that it gives you sustenance, or substance, I guess I should say. You know, it gives you some grit to your existence when you have energies like that. So looking here at your 9th house, where you engage with things that are higher than you, that are beyond you, that can even be foreign to you. I see that there's a lot of happiness here and moving forward and looking at things that make you escape who you know you are and explore something outside of yourself, that you are finding a lot of beauty there and ecstatic energy, you know, and flecks of inspiration all around. So this is making me think that, yeah, even though if you dive deep and you go into your ancestry, you know, that might be a painful process. So there's something here that's saying, you know, this is the counterpart, or something that can balance that out, is what I'm getting. That do explore things that you're unfamiliar with, explore theories that you don't know about, explore other psychological systems, other thought systems, and maybe this will help illuminate, eradicate, break the energy of the past for you and help you reclaim a sense of joy and wonder and beauty in your life. Now I'm going to your 10th house, a house of self-mastery and what you have built, your legacy even. This is an outstanding card for you. It's showing that you are really centered in your power and you're very aware of how you can exert this out into your environment and build with it and really protect yourself through it. There feels again like something here that is deep. Again, the ancestry thing is coming up, that feels kind of fierce, feels powerful, feels ancient. And this is speaking to me right now and saying that there could just simply be knowledge that you are supposed to know that needs to get unlocked, that's part of your DNA, that's part of your history. And maybe those before you have lost it, and because of it, they're not living in their truth. You know, your family members and your relatives from many generations ago. But I feel like if you dig deep enough, there will be this ability to reclaim what is rightfully yours. It will help you center yourself back into your reality and truly know your place and know your source of power. And not in a way where you go power crazy or anything, but that power, you know, self-empowerment, respect for yourself, respect for your lineage, and in doing that, it makes you respect your world and everyone that you interact with more. And in doing this too, you may find that boundaries were an issue at some point, and you may be learning how to use boundaries to serve you better. I'm looking now at your 11th house, which is not only your independence, but your interdependence with humanity. I'm definitely seeing here that if you free yourself from the visceral attachment to your history and the emotional attachment, even the psychic attachment, and you just kind of go towards bliss, the highest level of sensing what you can, that you will be able to truly reconnect with something really, really deep in you. And this is bringing me back to the sensation I was getting off of your 7th house card, where it was really talking about exuberance. There's something about a very high key energy that you have the ability to touch and tap into, that seems like it is going to be the missing link for you, and it's going to restore this sense of divine order in your life. And I just feel like it's a blessing. Like it will change you for the better. And now I'm taking a gander into this 12th house. This is your house of transcendence, it can be your house of self-undoing, but it's also your ability to give in love unconditionally, and to be, the best version of yourself, to be able to act in your highest, wisest, most evolved state of being. So here I see you very sumptuous and youthful in a way. Like you're in that state of like the wise 20-year-old, wise before your years type of feeling. And I don't necessarily think that's true. I think that many 20-year-olds are exceptionally wise. It's not about age. So it has this quality. So you may just have this presence of being, like, people may pick that up, that you're kind of more evolved than it seems like you should be for the looks of you, or for what they assume your age is. Yet there is this protection of your heart space, which could just be a boundary that you've learned to confirm and to take the responsibility for, because I don't feel like it's this harsh protection, but it is a level of protection where you're not necessarily giving freely from this space, although you have the potential to. And it seems like you're taking the energy that you would normally let flow from there, and you're bringing it up to a higher realm and really doing a lot of transformational work here, which you may not even be conscious of. It feels like there's a lot of super conscious energy that is getting engaged here. And this may be truly wonderful for you, because it may be the way that you're actually getting to this high key energy that I was talking about earlier. And maybe you've just had too much going on from your heart space, and you're learning how to engage basically your higher chakras to really replenish you and enable you to be a better version of yourself, a wiser version of yourself. So that's what I have for you, Cancer. Thank you for letting me do this reading for you. Such a pleasure and an honor to do it. And I'm wishing you a beautiful Virgo season. Please join me again if you can, and take care.